Alberta's Finance Minister Travis Toews joins me now. Minister, very nice to see you. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us. It's been a big week for you in Alberta, big week for you as Alberta's Finance Minister. So, you tabled your budget and your debt is soaring past the $100 billion mark. It could reach $130 billion. Your projected deficit is $20 billion. I'm wondering, have you ever seen these kinds of figures in Alberta before?
No, this is new ground in Alberta, and it's simply the result of the pandemic, Joyce, and the economic challenge that the pandemic has created. In Alberta, it's already been a triple black swan event. We've had like every other jurisdiction, we're living through a massive global economic contraction. We're dealing with the pandemic within our borders, but on top of that, we've had really an unprecedented collapse in energy prices, and that has really negatively affected the revenues for the province of Alberta.
Yeah, and I want to get to that, but I'm wondering, is it time, for drastic measures now for you, say, for instance, a sales tax?
Well, no. Right now, to introduce a new tax or push taxes up would be just the wrong thing and the wrong timing. Here's the reality. Our number one priority, and it's reflected in Budget 2021, is ensuring that we're resourcing health to adequately deal with the pandemic. That's job number one. Second priority is to position the province for economic recovery and growth. And that's why introducing a new tax or increasing taxes would be the wrong thing to do. It would really undermine achieving that goal of economic recovery. Our third priority is to continue to work to deliver government services most efficiently. We laid out a fiscal plan in Budget 2019, our first budget, which brought this province to balance within the term of the fiscal plan. That, of course, was really disrupted by COVID. But we're continuing with the broad goal of bringing our cost to deliver government services in line with that of comparative provinces on a per capita basis. We inherited a government spend that was $10 billion higher than comparative provinces. At the end of this fiscal plan, we will have landed squarely in alignment with other provinces, so we can assure Albertans that we're working hard to deliver government services efficiently. Yeah. Those are our three priorities.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if this budget signals a permanent change now in Alberta's economy. So, given the dropping price of oil, given that Joe Biden is now in the White House, and it's the end of Keystone and perhaps other pipelines, where do you go from here?
Well, a couple of things, Joyce. Firstly, we are positioning this province for economic recovery and growth in a wide variety of sectors. And so I really do believe that we'll see increased economic diversification in the province over the next months and years. And we're working hard to ensure we have the most competitive business environment that will encourage sustainable diversification. We brought our business tax rate from 12 to 8%. We're working on regulatory modernization and reform. The Canadian Federation of Independent Business just gave us an A grade on that effort. We inherited an F from the previous government. So we're making progress there. We have more work to do. We really do have a great value proposition in Alberta. We have the most competitive business environment, and it's improving. We have, certainly relative to many other regions, a low cost of living, especially compared to Toronto or Vancouver or other hubs. And we have world-class commercial space at very affordable prices. And in Calgary and Edmonton, Calgary specifically, one of the most livable cities in the world, makes the top 5 almost every year. We really do have a great value proposition. And I'm confident that we will be attracting investment and growing the economy and diversifying the economy, and we're beginning to see that. Now, let me say a few things about the energy industry. The energy industry will be very important to Alberta and to Canada for decades to come. And in fact, the Joe Biden presidency and some of the restrictions that he's already put on the U.S. industry will result in lower production from the U.S. industry, which will make Canadian production even that much more important and viable. And while I'm very disappointed in the cancellation of Keystone XL, we're seeing other pipeline projects go forward. Enbridge Line 3 is moving forward. Trans Mountain expansion is moving forward. Coastal GasLink is moving forward. And so I'm very encouraged and hopeful that we are beginning to see the end of the limited egress that has held back investment in energy for so long. So energy will play a very important role in the future.
You know, Chrystia Freeland in her budget has $100 billion set aside for economic recovery. Are you hoping, or are you even talking to the federal government, because the energy sector hasn't really been addressed yet by the federal government, by Ottawa? Are you hoping, or are you talking to Ottawa about this?
Yes, we are, Joyce, and that's a great question. We are working with the federal government and certainly advocating Alberta's position on the need for investment in the province of Alberta. We have a great environmental and social governance narrative that's foundationally supported by solid facts on the ground. Alberta and Canada have really the most responsible energy industry in the world. We're seeing greenhouse gas intensity reductions in the neighborhood of 20 to 25% every decade. Our industry is on the path of continuous improvement. But there will be additional investment required to keep going on that track, and that is investment in carbon capture and storage and other initiatives. We're having conversations with the federal government around that greater effort, an effort that will ensure a very strong future for the energy industry in the future, and that will be important not only to Alberta's economic recovery, but to Canada's economic recovery. Because the energy industry accounts for over 20% of the nation's exports. It's very, very significant.
Travis Toews, we will all be looking at that federal budget, March, April. We'll see what's in there for Alberta. Thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us.